Yeah, because I knew you were in the army, but then we barely talked about it. Like, I don't even know how long you were in the army for.
It's crazy because like I think about it now and it feels like another lifetime, and I try to treat it as such.
Yeah.
Because I let it control my life for so long after I got out that it didn't really allow me to be who I am now. You know, like it took me a long time to like let that shit go.
Yeah.
Because it was just a lot, man.
Is it like the PTSD?
Yeah, it's like a mix of that. It's a mix of like
Alex been through some shit.
really like getting the, he knows. I've talked to him in depth, but it's like, it's the mix of that. It's a mix of like being trained to think a certain way, to act a certain way, to treat other people a certain way.
Yeah, because they do kind of
Drill that into your head.
Right. And it's like
brainwash. I don't know if that's the right term. But
Along the same line.
yeah, I mean, brainwash seems a little dramatic, but like, it is definitely one of those things where it's like they instill values in you. You know, they have core values. I don't remember what they are. Which Homa Army boys, I'm sorry, I don't remember the core values.
I don't know why I'm picturing Alex as the Winter Soldier getting like, you know what I'm saying, electrocuted. Like what?
But no, and I think that gave me my discipline. You know, like
that's fair.
I joined the army. I hated it, bro. Within the first like week, I was like, what did I do?
Yeah.
Like, what did I sign up for? Shit. And I remember getting to basic training and I was like, oh dude, I don't know if I can do this. Like,
you don't have a choice. You're already
yeah, right. Like people yelling at me. I'm like freaking out. I'm like, bro, how do I get out of this? And then like, I'm watching people that are like failing around me and I'm like, bro, I can do this. If they like, this is really fucked up to say, but in my mentality at the time, being an 18-year-old kid, I was like, if they can't do this, I can do this. You know what I'm saying? Like if I'm watching these dudes quit, nah, bro, I can do this.
Yeah. I think when you're like younger too, your competitive nature is a little bit more like higher. Like
you're at 18, you think you can do anything.
Yeah.
And like you're basically a kid and you're like kid, adult kind of.
You're a kid brain in the adult body.
Right. Exactly.
And what was even better is that like I wasn't strong, but I was quick, bro. Like I was in shape because I only weighed 110 pounds. My weigh-in for basic training was 110 pounds.
Have you seen any old Alex pictures?
I'm gonna have to show you.
No.
It's crazy.
Dude, he looked.
I know he was like skinny back in the day.
Oh, twiggy.
Yeah.
It looked like someone like put a stump and just like.
He looks like a different person.
Yeah,
he looks like a different
crazy.
person.
But yeah, man. Like I think once I got in, I was like, okay, I have two options. I think this is where my mind started changing. I was like, I can quit. And a lot of these people that were quitting were getting stuck there longer than you would have been if you just would have went through it. Because like they almost punish you for quitting, right? They're like, okay, you want to quit? You're going to go do laundry duty for the next 3 months while everyone you watch that you could have been with.
Wait, so when people quit, they don't just go home? They just...
Nah, bro. You got to stay there and do extra.
There?
Yep. You got to stay and do extra work.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, dude.
So might as well do it.
Exactly. And that's what I noticed. I was like, bro, at least I'm getting paid.
Yeah.
Right? Like at least, yeah, it sucks. I'm not getting paid a lot, but at least I'm getting paid. I'm getting paid to wake up and work out every day and learn shit. Things could be worse. I could be quitting like they are and folding laundry and mopping the floor. Like you saw them mop the floor, but like they were doing it all the time and they were getting shit on because they quit. So it was like they got their uniforms stripped off, bro. They couldn't even wear the same uniform. Like they were in white t-shirts and like sometimes they had like the same bottoms on, but most of the time like that's how you knew they were a dropout.
People just like if you quit, you can just go home.
Nah,
it's rough.
It takes a while for you to get home.
Oh shit.
But yeah, so then it was at that moment where I was like, all right, cool. I can do this. Who's the fastest runner? His name was Starner. I won't ever forget him, Thomas Starner. I remember the first time we took our PT test, I was like, bet. I've been running track my whole life. Bet. And I beat him for like the first mile and a half. And then he came out of nowhere, bro. But he was like 6'3" and he was long, bro. So I think I ran my first 2 mile in 11 minutes and 3 seconds. He ran it in 10:52. And he set
longer stride.
Yeah.
Bigger strides, man.
I think he set one of the records too. And I was like, ugh. But after that, I was like, all right, cool, man. I can do this. And then once I graduated, I was like, all right. I still hated it. You know,
How long were you in the Army for?
Total 7 years. But I did 4 active and then 3 in the National Guard.
And then you were deployed somewhere too, right?
Yeah, I was deployed in multiple places. I started in Korea, did that whole thing.
Oh yeah, you told me about that.
And that was the thing is like, when I got to Korea, I was still hating the Army. I was still like, man, this was a mistake. Why did I do this to myself? But then I started going out. And then once I started going out, I was like, oh, this is great.
Like, this is kind of fun.
Right. I'm like, I get to travel all these places and like go see the culture.
Yeah,
like
you've been to like different countries, right?
right. And so like when I was scared, man. Like I had never been outside of Nevada or California before, because all my family's in Cali, but like I was born and
Like
raised
before
here.
that,
Right. I'd only ever been to Nevada and California,
shit.
and then like going to basic training was in Kentucky.
Yeah.
So I'd still never technically left the States. And I remember like getting on the plane, bro. I was perspiring, bro. Like there was sweat in weird places. Like the creases of my knees, I could feel sweat. And I was like, nah, bro, I don't like this. Like, you know, the hair on your front leg
Is
gets
it one
wet?
of those like the AC-130s, or is it like
No, it was a normal,
commercial?
it was a normal airline. But yeah, man, I just remember getting there and I was like, shit, I don't think I even really knew anyone going at the same time I was, even from basic training. So I was like, I was really going by myself. And I landed monsoon season.
Was this in Korea?
Yeah. First day of monsoon season. And it was wet, bro. Like,
That ain't
wet,
none. We from the Philippines.
Yeah,
bro.
y'all be
We
getting
know about
typhoons
that
and
life.
shit. I know.
Ain't none.
But yeah, man, I remember landing and just being like, all right, so this is new. Like, how am I gonna and the worst part was I was still talking to people from home. So like I hit you up and be like, oh man, how's it going? And you're like, oh cool, man. Like I just went out all night. Like
Yeah.
I'm living the
Also,
life.
you're
Like I'm
talking
in
to your
college.
friends that were,
right,
like,
that are
still
like still in
partying.
college and stuff like that. Like the few friends that I have from high school or that I met in Reno. And they're like, yeah, you know, they're partying, they're like going out. I'm seeing like pictures of them on Facebook from like in Tahoe and stuff, and I'm like, tear. You know, like I'm just sad. But like I said, once I started going out, I was like, this is kind of dope. Like I get to experience a whole new culture. The rules, you couldn't leave the post itself for the first 30 days. You couldn't get a tattoo for the first 3 months. You actually weren't supposed to get a tattoo at all. And then you couldn't like go out past a certain time. Bro, the second day my ass was like as far away from base as you could get, out at like 2
You were
a.m.
breaking the rules.
Oh, immediately. I got a tattoo the third day I was there. Cause I was like,
What'd they do?
Rule breaker.
nothing.
Nothing?
That was the thing is they
Not
were
nothing until they see
right,
this
you're gonna see
shit.
this and then be like locked up and be like, but yeah, man, like they were good at keeping like track of everybody.
Mm-hmm.
But on the weekends it was kind of like a free for all. Like my direct leader didn't give a fuck. He was like,
Oh, so is it kind of like a 9 to 5, or you just like work the weekdays?
I
and
mean,
get
the
weekends
thing about the
off?
army is like it's 24/7, right? Like they will wake
Because
you,
that's what in my head I was like, when do you get time off?
they will wake your ass up at 2 a.m. and do some crazy shit.
Oh, okay.
Some crazy stupid shit too. But it's like, what's nice about Korea is a lot of people call it like a vacation station kind of thing, because it's like Korea, yes, they have a bunch of extra training that you're supposed to do because you're there, but what's dope about Korea is you celebrate American holidays and you get to celebrate Korean holidays, because the whole country in Korea shuts down for their holidays, so you can't really work because half the workforce in Korea is Koreans,
Oh, okay.
because they have their own army, and then they have their augmentation where like they work with us directly, and so you know they got to celebrate their holidays. So you get way more time off than you normally would like at home. So it's cool. So like most of the time you do get the weekends off, but like if you're training, you have to go to the field, you would go, you know, be at the field. And when you don't have time off, you start to realize how important taking time to yourself really is. And like taking time to actually enjoy your life is. Cause it's cool being around the same like 30 dudes for a little bit. And then after a while you're like, yo man, I need to get out of here.
Yeah.
I need something. I need some type. I don't even care. Like there was a point where I was like, you know, as men, we crave female attention. But there was a point where I was like, I don't even care if it's like someone who doesn't even speak English, bro. Like I just want to talk to someone who isn't American. I'm just so tired of like being around Americans when I'm in a different country. It just
Yeah.
felt so invalid.
You ain't gotta lie, Alex. We know the Korean girls got it like that. You know what I'm saying?
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Didn't date one the whole time I was there.